Good Friday morning, everyone. Good Friday morning, Backyard Naturalist friends. It is really great to be here with you for the season premiere of the sixth season of the Backyard Naturalist and to see Larry do the season premiere dance this morning on camera. My name is Tim, and I will be your host today on the first Friday of September. Fall is here. It's in the air. It's my favorite time of the year. You can feel it. Football started last night. The darkness is returning, the darkness of Hygge. Uh, Time for snuggling inside with a blanket and slippers and a warm beverage. Maybe you have a pet you can snuggle with at home, and maybe that pet is a guinea pig. It is fascinating to look at the journeys of animals from the wild to domestication. Like, why of all of the animals in the world did we get dogs? Did we get cats? Did we get ferrets? Did we get fish, hamsters, rats? Why guinea pigs? Why did guinea pigs end up making the leap from the wild to our houses? And like nothing against any of these animals like the guinea pig, but why? What it it's it's not a pig. It's not from Guinea, but somewhere along this historical timeline, human beings have taken them in, sometimes literally, sometimes into our tummies, but more often into our homes. They have become domesticated, and so we're going to look at the stories they have to tell here on episode 1, Larry Dance, of season 6 of The Backyard Naturalist. And I'm really sorry for this title, Guinea the Pig. Uh, as has been the case since season 1, episode 1, which was Desperate House Sparrows, we would like to thank all of the viewers, the folks who are here with us live in Zoom, the folks who are watching recorded on YouTube. With this homage to PBS, we absolutely would like to thank the viewers like you. If you like this program and would like to help support this journey of learning, to help keep it viable and sustainable, we hope for a few more seasons at least to keep this going. So if you consider becoming a subscriber, there are multiple levels. We would love it if you can join us as an annual or seasonal subscriber. If subscriptions aren't in your wheelhouse and you enjoy these programs, please come anyway. We love that you're here. The programs are still free just by visiting the UEC website and registering. New this year, we are rolling out the super subscription. Why is it super? Because at the super subscription level, you are signed up to, in addition to these weekly programs that you don't have to register for, you are signed up to attend our monthly field trips. And this year, our field trips have a new twist. We are engaging local leaders, local personalities, who are going to take us to their favorite local green spaces. So we'll probably see some hidden gems, some places we wouldn't think of as fun places to visit in the area. Maybe some places we knew about already, but we'll learn about from a new perspective. So we'll be exploring the green spaces of Milwaukee together. I kind of think of it as like a book club, but instead of someone presenting their favorite book for us all to read, they'll present their favorite green space for us all to explore and share with us why these places are personally and usually ecologically important. So getting a super subscription is the ultimate way to support this program. So if you have the means and desire, we hope you consider it. As I said, we are glad you're here regardless. The first season of the field trips, we're about halfway through securing some wonderful trips, but the first season is ready. So we have the following trio of local icons and wonderful humans, Eddie Daniel, who's prolific with his photos and blogs and books. Bill Miller, one of the best humans I know. He can tell you the tiniest details about a bird in 1 second, and then the next second he's talking philosophy and poetry, and rock music, and just a wonderful person to converse with. And then Cheryl Nen, a really important leader who's done so much for Milwaukee's waterways. And so the three of us are going to take us to some of their favorite places. And then each season, we're going to have a new trio of leaders. Could be you. If there's some place you really want to show off to us, definitely let me know, and we'll sign you up. So I'm also super excited, and hopefully you are too, about a new course offering in mammalogy. There's let's see. A lot of you are birders, but have you considered becoming a mammaler? We're mammals. We're surrounded by them. They're in our backyards. They're under our soil. They're in the sky. Day and night, they're around. And just there's so much to learn about them. And it's a college level course without the college level pressure. And there's going to be both a classroom and an outdoor uh, field lab component. And just hanging out with Amanda anytime you just absorb knowledge. And it should be really fun. We hope you consider joining this unique learning opportunity. There aren't a lot of places where you can get memology like this. So if you have any questions, please contact Amanda or myself. It's weekly, Tuesday evenings, starting at the end of September. And then before we get started on guinea pigs, our backyards are connected to the skies above. These humans that inhabit the earth have some big events coming up and exploring that area. So tomorrow, September 7th, is the scheduled launch of the Polaris Dawn mission from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. And there's a reason why countries try to launch their space vehicles from close to the equator, because the equator is spinning around the fastest, as biggest centripetal force. It's the easiest for those rockets to get out. So for the US, we're going southern Florida. And in this particular mission, you've got 4 civilians that are going to be launched into orbit for 5 days aboard a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket with the goal of having the first commercial spacewalk. And this will also be the highest orbit ever recorded since the Apollo program. So this crew is going to conduct a bunch of research experiments. There's a whole lot of partner institutions that they're working with. A lot of these experiments are designed to advance human health, both here on Earth and to look at human health of astronauts, which are starting to spend longer and longer periods of time up above the Earth with all that radiation. And of course, it is a Elon Musk mission, so they're going to test laser-based communications with the Starlink satellites. So this is a mission that has been progressing well. And then there's this other mission that has been in the news a lot lately, the one that has been stalled. So Boeing Starliner mission, the 2 astronauts that are still up there. There are some developments. The spacecraft that brought them up is coming back home to Earth, probably tonight, depending on the weather. Unfortunately, it is leaving the astronauts behind. So the spacecraft is set to undock. They expect it to land, but it can do a simpler landing than it would be able to do with the astronauts in it, which is what they're worried about with the thrusters. So it's going to parachute into New Mexico, and the 2 astronauts will remain at the International Space Station, and their expected return date is next February. So what was supposed to be an 8-day mission is likely going to be an 8-month mission. Something to think about when you have a delayed connection at an airport, and then imagine seeing your plane take off without you, and then knowing you're stuck at that airport for another 5 months. So the astronauts will return in February on the Crew Dragon. This is a spacecraft built by the competitor to Boeing, SpaceX. The Starliner was initially planned for annual trips to the space station, transporting crew and equipment, but their contract with NASA is contingent upon some of these milestones that haven't been met, and so the future of the Boeing mission is very much up in the air, pun intended. So you don't have to be an astronaut to witness a fun heavenly event that's set to occur on the evening of Tuesday, September 17th, in a week and a half. There is a unique convergence in the night sky. And with this convergence of Saturn and this is supposed to be the moon. This is Saturn and Jupiter. I apologize. You're going to see Saturn and moon together. It's going to happen monthly throughout the rest of the year. So if you miss it on September 17th, Saturn and the moon are going to converge again on October 14th, November 11th, and December 8th. So that'll be a fun monthly occurrence. And then also on September 17th, there's going to be a partial lunar eclipse that you can see with the naked eye. It's better with binoculars. And it happens at a fairly early, like 10:15 p.m. or something is um, the climax. So we're kicking off season 6 by looking at stories of the guinea pigs. And I'm dedicating this season 6 premiere to my daughter, Cece, who started 4th grade at Highland Community School this week. Otherwise, she would be here. And this makes me so proud. She took it upon herself during the final week of summer vacation to do research on guinea pigs. It wasn't assigned in her class. She just wanted to get an early start on learning and wanted me to go get a trifold, wanted me to print the pages for the trifold and to get a start on learning before school started. So made me super happy, made me super proud. Cece grew to love guinea pigs when her friend Tallulah Sams adopted a couple, and she'll tell the story. But they started off with foster guinea pigs, and that grew. And I will let her kick off this episode in her own words, which are, "Hi, my name is Cecilia. The first encounter I had with guinea pigs was when my best friend Tallulah got 2 guinea pigs. She traveled every once in a while, which meant I got to babysit them. Their names are Nibbles and Sweet Potato. I absolutely adored them, and they were great cuddlers. They inspired me to do research to help get my classmate Margot a guinea pig. Years passed. In 3rd grade, I got another chance to take care of guinea pigs when a different class needed a foster home for their guinea pigs. But eventually, we had to give them back. My class begged to buy the guinea pigs, and eventually she said yes. So now my class has 2 baby guinea pigs. That's the story of me and guinea pigs. And we will return to CC's stories throughout the episode. Here is the star of our show, or the other star of our show with CC. This is the guinea pig. And so we'll look at the guinea pig relative to other forms of life here on Earth. So at its basic level, it's a eukaryotic animal, a chordate, the backbone, it's a mammal. We've had plenty of mammals featured here on Backyard Naturalist, and guinea pigs are also rodents. And we've also featured quite a bit of rodents already in past episodes, sometimes more than once, from porcupines to beavers and squirrels, groundhogs, chipmunks, rats. The word rodent means to gnaw, and rodents are characterized by a single pair of continuously growing incisors in each of the upper and lower jaws. This is the largest group of mammal species. Almost half of mammals are rodents, about 40%. So it's a big family. The guinea pig line of the rodents takes us to a family that is new to us here on the Backyard Naturalist, and that's the family Ceviidae. Amanda can tell me if I'm pronouncing that right. It's familiarly known as the cavy family. And the cavies are native to South America, not to Guinea. And this is a relatively small family within the mammals with only 19 species. That includes the largest rodent in the world, the capybara, which is almost 5 feet in length and 150 pounds, which I think about my golden retriever as big, quite a bit bigger than my oldest child. And this is quite a bit larger and heavier than my golden retriever. This family includes species like the wild cavies, like this Munster yellow-toothed cavy. I was really curious as to why it's called the Munster yellow-toothed cavy, and it stems from the colonial nature of how things are named, because the Munster yellow-toothed cavy is native to the Bolivian Andes, but because specimens were shipped to Munster, Germany for laboratory research, where it was found to be a new species, they decided to call it the Munster yellow-toothed cavy, even though Munster has nothing to do biologically with this animal. So I think that's kind of dumb. But whatever, there are also mountain cavies, like this southern mountain cavy. That's a little bit better. The smallest member of the family at about 8 inches long and about a half a pound. There are rock cavies, a species called the acrobatic cavy. And then there's the incredibly cool kangaroo rabbit looking Patagonian Mara. So this is the extended family tree of the guinea pigs. These are the more closely related rodents, and an adorable one at that. All of them are native to South America. And other than that kind of rabbit-like Mara, they tend to share a similar body plan, the kind of compact, heavy bodies, large heads relative to their body size. Pretty much no tail, no visible tail. They do, like a stump of a tail that you can't really see. They're herbivores, mainly eating grasses and leaves. If you remember Amanda's talk on dentition, the dental formula of cavies is 1013, both on top and bottom. So together, they have 2 incisors, no canines, 2 premolars, and 6 molars on the top, and the same number on the bottom. There was a much larger cavy in the past that is now extinct, with the cool name of Fugatherium, that lived in the Pleistocene. And this may or may not mean anything to you, but it's about the size of a Baird's tapir. A Baird's tapir is like just almost as big as a hippopotamus. I mean, not quite that big, but so we're talking an 8-foot long rodent that probably weighed close to 700 pounds. So that would have been a pretty sweet rodent to have roaming around South America today, but they are no longer. The next grouping that guinea pigs takes us is to genus in the Linnaean system, and the guinea pigs belong to the genus Cavia, commonly known as the guinea pigs or the cavies. So it's derived from a name of the Galibi tribe in French Guiana, that what they gave to these animals, and that basically translates as rat. So depending on who you talk to, there are 6 species that are grouped in this group. In addition to the domestic guinea pig, there's the Brazilian guinea pig, the shiny guinea pig, the intermediate guinea pig. What a boring name. But it's also called the Santa Catarina's guinea pig, which is much better. There's also the greater guinea pig, and then the montane guinea pig, which plays a little bit of a more important role because it's likely, based on genetics, the closest living relative to the domestic guinea pig. And it's complicated, but this is the species that likely gave rise to what we now call the domestic guinea pig. But the domestication process was complicated. And so then roughly from this little adorable montane guinea pig, we finally get our domestic guinea pig, or the guinea pig, or the cavy, or the domestic cavy. As a general rule, from what I understand, it's the breeders in the pet trade that use the name cavy, and so they will, say, "Hey, want to buy a cavy from me?" But researchers, and I think the public in general, tend to call them guinea pigs. So it means rat. Cavia means rat, and porcellus is Latin for little pig. So essentially, the Latin name for the guinea pig is pig rat. So why guinea pigs? There's no concrete answer to this. There's no textbook answer as to why they're called guinea pigs. It's as complicated as their story. You can make your own hypothesis. Things make sense. One of these is that we're going to go through the history with humanity a little bit. And again, the colonial nature, things are usually named in Europe and the Western part of the world. And so when they were introduced to Europe as pets, mainly, the trade route often brought them from Guinea, which is a region of Western Africa. And so the most likely story is that the people in Europe knew that these were coming from Guinea, and so they gave them the name guinea pigs. Guinea also has an interesting different kind of root word. It's also used in English to say any far off exotic land, not necessarily just the western coast of Africa. Any far away exotic land was called Guinea, no matter where it was in the world. So it's possible that this moniker came, and that's why it's guinea pigs, as these pigs from exotic faraway lands. There is another guess, and this makes probably just as much sense to me, is that, there's an area of northern South America where guinea pigs are native called Guyana, and it's possible Guyana just through some mistranslations became Guinea. Um, Others think that it's comes from the word coney, which means rabbit. So they, could have just as well been rabbit pigs, but guinea pigs, coney pigs. So the guinea part is confusing, and then pigs is also a little confusing. I think probably most likely they have that pig-like feature, that kind of squat body, large heads, not much of a tail, and some say that the sounds that they make are similar to pigs, so that could be why they're called pigs. Um, they also spend a large amount of time eating. Um, and then another probably smaller minor hypothesis is that they can survive in small quarters, like a pig pen, for quite a while. And so it made it easy for them to transport them in pig pens to Europe when they became really popular in the trade. So still unknown exactly why guinea pigs, but again, they're not pigs, and they're not from the region we know of as Guinea. They are native to the Andes of South America, where you can find wild species of guinea pigs living as they have for millions of years. And those are the species that are in the same genus as the guinea pig. The first documented evidence, written evidence, which is starting to be, like a lot of other things, supported by oral evidence as well. But the first documented evidence of domestication occurs about 5,000 BCE. And so there's a likely story that tribes in the Andes were using guinea pigs as livestock, for food, as the primary method of domestication, like pigs and cows and chickens. The guinea pigs were domesticated for food. Um, so that was that when you think of how they're used in different regions of the world, or how they're looked at in different regions of the world, in South America, there is still a areas where guinea pigs are eaten, pretty staple diet. But since like Europe didn't have that staple, they came as pets in places like Europe, and when they moved over to the northern part of North America, they're much more considered pets than food. Um, so even though the guinea pigs share most of their DNA with this montane guinea pig species, like a lot of things, it's probably complicated. There's so many different tribes to different humans living in the area. So it's likely that they were domesticated independently several times by different people. Um, and then so with domestication and with selective breeding going on for thousands of years, um, it's like there's not a clear lineage, like the guinea pig came from this one line. So you probably had several domestic livestock groups started to breed with each other. Probably were interbreeding with some of the wild stocks, probably were released, sometimes living in the wild. So you probably had hybridization. Um, and so it's likely coming from several species, to create, what we call our current domestic guinea pig. There are no wild populations of this domestic species, but it's complicated. Sometimes they were worshipped, um, and so there's several uh, groups where the living art depicts guinea pigs. Their early accounts from the Spanish colonists indicate that guinea pigs were a preferred sacrificial animal of the Inca at the time they had contact with them, which is supported by both archaeological evidence and, again, transcribed Quechua stories, mythology. And the stories are similar to other sacrificial animals. They were likely to appease the gods, often used to accompany the dead on their journeys, sometimes used as divination. to foresee the future. And again, important as livestock. And so today they're still a source of protein. You get beef, chicken, pork, other meats. At some point, probably around 500 BCE, guinea pigs made their way into the Caribbean through local trade networks. And while still domesticated, some populations probably became feral and renaturalized into the wild. So of this current living species of guinea pigs, even the ones that we consider wild species, probably had some interactions with the domestic species and hybridization over the years. But you do have kind of these natural populations that might have renaturalized. If we fast forward to the early 1500s, you see colonial traders, particularly from Spain, Holland, and England, are now bringing guinea pigs back to Europe for the pet trade. They noticed that part of guinea pigs, the cute and cuddly part, and they became popular and and they were good. They made good pets. And so they were part of the exotic pets. They were kind of, especially among the elite, a status symbol, including Queen Elizabeth I, who's not in this picture. This is non-identified folks in this era. But yeah, and that's what started kind of the pet trade, and that's what's made it way over here. And why, for us, a lot of us, guinea pigs are cute and cuddly pets. At this point, I'm going to turn the mic back over to my daughter, Cece, and I will read from her research. Guinea pigs can live for up to 8 years. That's longer than hamsters, mice, and rats, but sadly shorter than dogs and cats. Guinea pigs make adorable sounds like chucking, which means it's content, weeking, which means it's hungry, and purring, which means it's relaxed. There are over 13 types of guinea pigs. To name a few, there is the American guinea, the teddy guinea, the koi guinea pig, and I'll make an aside here. This is the most popular guinea pig for eating. This is kind of like the Holstein cow. I don't know what groups of chickens we eat, but if you drive around places like Quito, Ecuador, you'll go down streets where you just see signs upon signs of these cute, guinea pig mascots for the restaurants, kind of like how you'll see chicken places with the cute chicken saying "Come eat me," which seems odd. But this is the species of guinea pig that is predominantly in guinea pig cuisine, and I think if I had grown up around guinea pig eating, it probably wouldn't seem weird to me, but because I haven't, it does seem weird that people eat guinea pigs, but there's no logical reason for that other than that's my cultural background. There's the skinny guinea, which has a fantastic name, and this is a hairless breed of guinea pig, if you're into that. So, Cece continues. Guinea pigs eat spinach, carrots, hay, and grasses. They also eat Timothy hay. Fun fact, guineas need hay and grass to digest properly. But watch out, they are the favorite food of the red fox. A guinea pig's natural habitat is the mountains of South America. They like to travel in big groups, but they always take the same path, yet they cover so much ground. And since guinea pigs are primarily pets, Cece goes on to talk about good guinea pig husbandry techniques. So, guinea pigs are relatively easy to take care of. All they need is a friend, water, food, a cage, and love. You don't need much to provide a happy home for your guinea pigs. The best things you could do is give them lots of care, including food, water, and love, but most importantly, a friend. Guinea pigs are very social, so if you buy one, you have to buy two. Guineas love exploring, so if you make sure to let them explore, so if you can, make sure to let them explore your house. You should give your guinea pigs regular exercise. If your guinea pig resists exercise, you can try adding favorites that are evolving, treats, toys, or games. And I will take this moment to interject something I learned about guinea pigs. While hamsters love to run around in a ball like this would be a bad idea for your guinea pig because their spine doesn't bend in the same way. And having something like this or those balls that they run around in, they could easily get injured. So just gotta adapt what you're using for exercise. Okay, back to Cece. Make sure your guineas are getting fresh food and water. Make sure you're giving your guinea pig ample love and exercise. Although Cece did mention to me as I was putting this together, they don't like to be smothered for too long. So she said in her research 10 minutes. And when I questioned that, it's like only 10 minutes a day. She mentioned that you want to limit your personal interactions to periods of 10 minutes or so because you again, you don't want to smother them. They need their time and their space. Cece goes on, clean their cage every week. Make sure the cage is big enough for toys, water, food, hiding spots, and places to run around. And then Cece goes on to a list of fun facts about guinea pigs. Guineas first were domesticated in 5000 BCE. Guinea pigs are so small, yet they have more bones than humans. Number 3, did you know that guinea pigs have 14 toes, 8 front toes and 6 back toes? Number 4, guinea pigs love popcorn, but not the popcorn you eat. They love popcorning, and that's when they think they're little acrobats, zooming and twisting and jumping around. So apparently they love to popcorn, and popcorning is this jumping, twisting behavior that seems so apt. Number 5, did you know guinea pigs also mark their scent? And apparently they have a scent gland just above where you would expect to find their tail. Number 6, did you know that guinea pigs aren't fully grown until they're 18 months old? Number 7, surprisingly, guinea pigs actually don't sleep that much. Number 8, did you know that guinea pigs produce a white liquid from their eyes that they use to help clean their skin? So this is normal. Number 9, did you know that guinea pigs' teeth never stop growing? Number 10, did you know that guinea pigs can have both good eyesight and bad eyesight? And I did a little bit of exploring in this one. So I think what CC means here is that their eyes are designed for predator detection. And so wild guinea pigs are just probably like rabbits under a lot of predation pressure. There's a lot of things that would love to eat guinea pigs. And so their eyes are developed to have a very wide field of view. They can see almost all the way around, almost 360 degrees, not quite. And their eyes are very good, much better than ours at detecting motion. So they see more frames per however frames per second or whatever that is. So basically they can see a long way and they can notice movement. So it'd be very hard for predators to sneak up on them. And when Cece mentioned that they don't sleep much, sometimes even when they're asleep, their eyes tend to be open. So they can sleep with open eyes and the eyes would still be looking for that motion, still be alerted. So those are ways that their eyes are really good. Their vision as we would know it, as from our comparison, would be considered poor because they can only see in detail for a few feet in front of them. And it's really hard for them to see things that are really close up, especially with that big schnoz blocking view. So like they can't really see what they're eating. And if they drop food, they're not going to go right to it like my dog would. Sometimes they just have to like find out where it is because they can't see it. Might take a few seconds for it to find them. However, they are, even with this poor eyesight abilities, they do rely much more on the other senses. So very, very, their whiskers are very sensitive, really good hearing, and they have amazing spatial memory. So if they need to get from point A to point B, they don't have to see where they're going. And so there's a lot of other ways that they get around without that really good eyesight, at least in the way we would pose it. Number 11, did you know guinea pigs actually can be really loud? Number 12, did you know there are over 25 different types of guinea pigs? Number 13, the Mochi people of Peru used to worship guinea pigs. Number 14, did you know that pups or baby guinea pigs are born well developed? Number 15, and finally the one that's going to blow your mind, guinea pigs are not related to pigs. Cece also made sure in her research to highlight Serenity Guinea Pig Rescue, which is dedicated to saving and bettering the lives of in-need guinea pigs and other small animals. So if you're wanting to donate to a worthy cause, Cece would certainly encourage you to donate to this one. And so as we close, I want to thank all of you for being here. I really want to thank Cece for being the inspiration for this episode and providing me with a ton of great information to be used in this episode. Personally, I'm just fascinated by the whole genetic lineage and the complex relationships between the wild populations, the domestic. They've been domesticated independently many times, crossbred between domestic and wild hybrids, crossbred between domestic, selectively bred for certain traits, and rewilded with becoming feral populations again, reestablishing themselves. And so while the domestic guinea pig per se has no wild population, some of their domestic ancestors have been rewilded. And when I see them, it's pretty easy for me to picture them as a wild animal, like something it's harder for me to do with a cow. Guinea pig, it's pretty easy when you think of, the prairie dogs out there. They're very social. Like I think it's easy for me to make that leap from pet to wild. But I think most importantly, I want to thank Cece for reminding me how the importance of empathy and care when you're doing research on animals. I love the idea to donate to a good cause, and I certainly have adopted the care and love for them, even if I said and will continue to say no to adopting one for our house. Sorry, Cece. And so I'm going to close with words from Cece, and then she's going to bring us out in the end with a video. So Cece says guinea pigs can give great cuddles. They're awesome playmates, and they can really cheer you up. If you provide great care, if you provide great care, they will provide great happiness. So I'm going to temporarily stop sharing and then reshare as we move to a video that Cece left for us. As soon as I find it, it is here somewhere. Here we go. Let me know if you don't hear the words.
Just from Stephanie and Sam for letting my...
Here we go.
I dedicate this research to my teachers, Miss Stephanie and Miss Sam, for letting my class foster some guinea pigs and then eventually get them. Also to my friend Tallulah for letting me take care of her guinea pigs. For my parents for also letting me take care of her guinea pigs, even more with my dog. And to my friend Margot for pushing me to do research on guinea pigs. Thank you! I dedicate this research.
And that's guinea pigs. So I will stop sharing. Thank you for joining us.